For a second straight season, we have a Lake Conference showdown in Class 3A girls soccer. A rematch from last season with the team in Edina who graduated 4 key seniors, including the 2023 Metro Player of the Year, Izzy Engel, versus a team in Wayzata that has a rich history in girls soccer but hasn't won a championship since 2012. Both teams are much different than last year, but it still has the same feeling of excitement and anticipation. That is what it's all about. And with that, we welcome you inside the U.S. Bank Stadium. My name is Hogan Greenwood alongside the great Mickey Denny Wright. We getting some deja vu this year in 2024 with these two teams rematching in the state championship.
Yeah, this is going to be an unbelievable matchup. We obviously called the last final last year between these two same teams, but different stories this year. Different stories. We have a brand new coach in Taylor Greathouse for Edina, and then we have the dynasty, Wayzata, Tony Pesnecker in his 35th year. Both really talented squads. I think we're in for a great game today.
This is the Class
both teams are walking out here as
championship game, and
we get you set for our Class 3A Girls State Championship. Wayzata and Edina going to be introduced here before we get you the starters.
And the
for
Section 6
match.
champion with a record of 18-1-1, the Trojans from Wayzata High School. The officials are leading the teams onto the field for the introductions. The officials for this state championship game, the center referee is Oscar Sanchez-Olanda. The assistant referees are Samantha Tanucci and Timothy Rowe. The fourth official is Jeremy Euchre. For this state championship match, Edina in the white uniforms will be the visiting team. Wayzata in the gold uniforms will be the home team. We will introduce the starting lineups for both teams. First, let's meet the starting lineup. For the visiting team, they are the Section 2 champions, the Edina Hornets. Starting with the goalkeeper, senior number 30, Eleni McGuire. Midfield, sophomore number 3, Michaela Caverly. Forward, senior number 5, Ali Adair. Midfield, junior number 8, Evie Kaczmarzinski. Defense, junior number 10, Lucia Begg. Midfield, junior number 11, Lou Ruffian. Defense, senior number 13, Anna Connor. Defense, senior number 14, Ellie Doskach. Forward, junior number 16, Lily Smoley. Defense, sophomore number 19, Ainsley Graves. Midfield, senior number 21, Kaylee Idrogolea. The head coach of the Edina Hornets is Taylor Greathouse. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Section 2 champions, the Edina Hornets. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the home team. They are the Section 6 champions, the Wayzata Trojans. Starting with the goalkeeper, junior number 1, Sofia Alvarez. Defense, 9th grade, number 2, Carolyn Voss. Midfield, sophomore, number 4, Alex Bellew. Forward, sophomore, number 5, Lauren Craig. Midfield, senior, number 8, Nicole Mahabadi. Defense, senior, number 9, Abby Beal. Forward, senior, number 12, Soki Hopkinson. Forward, midfield, senior, number 14, Sarah Hyde. Defense, senior, number 16, Ava Nayar. Defense, senior, number 17, Elena Grabowski. And forward, senior number 18, Tenley Senden. The head coach of the Wayzata Trojans is Tony Pesnecker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Section 6 champions, the Wayzata Trojans. The national anthem was presented prior to the start of the first game of the day, so at this time we'll ask the Edina Hornets to greet the game officials and their opponents, the Wayzata Trojans.
Both teams have been introduced.
Now
Wayzata and Edina
Trojans greet the game officials. Good
just
luck
about ready to get
both
kicked off
teams
here
in
from
the
US
state
Bank Stadium.
championship game.
Mickey
The
Denny,
Edina
right, Hogan
Hornets
Greenwood
and the
along with you.
Wayzata Trojans.
Edina's head coach Katie Offit announced her retirement after Edina won its first girls soccer state title since 1986 last year. So it's first-year head coach Taylor Greathouse, as we mentioned, who brings the team back for another deep run.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about Edina preseason, I think they were 7th or 8th ranked. They lost a tremendous amount of talent. We all know Izzy Engel, Polad up top. Ashley Turk graduated, who starts for the Gophers now at left back, and also their coach. So I don't think many people expected Edina to be here.
So looking at Edina, they beat Eastridge 3-1 in the semis. Wasn't really contested in the second half. Edina really rolled. 1 goal late for Eastridge that made it 2-1, and then Lou Ruffian answered right back. 1 goal, 1 assist for Ruffian. Michaela Caverly in the middle is a player to keep your eye on as well. And could this be the year for Wayzata and head coach Tony Pesnecker? They find themselves back on top, the #1 seed. They haven't won a title since 2012. They are led by their first-team forwards in Tenley Senden and sophomore Lauren Craig.
Yeah, I think Wayzata is the definition of dynasty. This is a program that's had incredibly high standards for years and years set by Tony Pesnecker. They play the same way. I mean, they essentially insert different talent into a system that Tony has established for years and years. These last few years, they've really come close. That game last year, I think they played excellent soccer against Edina. We're heartbroken they didn't get the championship. But they're back this year. I think their younger players are even more talented. Kids like Senden and Craig, another year under their belt. They're very dangerous. They have a ton of talent everywhere on the field. They have a great goalkeeper. And they're going to play their way. Wayzata is not going to adjust for you. You have to adjust for them. I think on the other side, you see Edina, and we talked to Taylor Greathouse before this game, and she mentioned we don't have a system. We adjust for the other team, and that's what they've had to do all year. So you're looking at 2 completely different styles in soccer, which is fun to watch. Edina, who's had to adjust all year, they play a high press system. So their goal is to take away time and space. They want the other team to play faster than they want to play. You saw them do that against Eastridge with incredible success. Eastridge has had a wonderful season. They're great on the ball. Edina came out and pressed them. And it rattled Eastridge. Eastridge was not able to play their brand of soccer. They're going to try to do the same thing to Wayzata. You're going to see the back line step up high, try to put Wayzata under incredible time and space and pressure, time and space. And I think the difference is going to be how can Wayzata execute against Edina's press.
Well, we are underway here from US Bank Stadium in this first half. Wayzata in the gold. They'll be going from right to left. Edina in the white, going from left to right. Edina, the #3 seed. They are 14-1-5 on the year. Only 1 loss, and that came in the opening match against Rosemount. They've won 14 out of the 19 games, 5 draws. They won the Lake Conference for the 2nd straight year, 5-1. Wayzata, the top seed, at 18-1-1. Their lone draw came against Minnetonka, and their lone loss came against the Edina Hornets back in the early part of the season.
You're going to see Edina, so like we talked about their press, right? So they're trying to you can see their back line is already 10 yards inside the half here. They're going to put so many numbers on top of you. They want to live in Wayzata's end. So this is how you do it. I think Taylor's done an outstanding job at executing a press. It's hard to do. Your kids have to buy in. They got to work for 80 minutes. They got to press. You got to be athletic, and they have all those things at Edina. So I give her great credit for the style she's introduced. It's different than last year. It's unique, but they've been really successful doing it.
Just a reminder for the starters in goal for Wayzata is Sophia Alvarez. In front of her on the back line, Carolyn Boss, Abby Beal, Ava Nayar, Elena Grabowski. In the midfield, it's Nicole Mahabadi, Sarah Hyde, Alex Bayu. Up front, Lauren Craig, Tenley Senden, and Sophie Hawkinson. Go ahead, Nikki.
You'll see on the ball now that's Ruffian.
Early chance for Edina, and it just curls wide.
I don't know how many chances you're going to get like that. They're going to want to bury those, but it all started with number 11, Lou Ruffian. Ruffian is an incredible player. We've watched her since her freshman year at Edina. One of the most exciting young players in the state of Minnesota. Incredible on the ball, great work rate. She can play anywhere on the field. She really is the engine that makes this go for Edina, and she's fun to watch.
That chance coming from Lily Smoley. For the starters for Edina, Elena McGuire in net. In front of her, Ainsley Graves, Ellie Doskotch, Anna Connor, Lucia Begg. In the midfield, Evelyn Kashmarzinski, Michaela Caverly, Lou Ruffian, Kaylee Drogo-Lamb. And then up front, we saw Lily Smoley and then Allie Adair also starting for the Hornets.
On the other side with Edina, you just saw their left outside forward, Senden. She's going to the Gophers, has committed there. Another really talented left-sided player. She's matured a lot this year. Goal.
And Wayzata strikes first across from Carolyn Voss, put in the back of the net by Alex Veyu. She had a hat trick in the semifinals, and Wayzata's up and running here in the championship match.
And just off a set play, a throw in there, send it into Voss, who's another really talented left side player, serves a great ball in. Edina doesn't mark up in the box, and it's a wide open put in here. That's not what Edina wanted, obviously. Now, Taylor did tell us, you know, they're used to going down. I mean, they played Wayzata early this year, went down a goal, and came back and beat them 2-1, but certainly a great start for Wayzata.
So the fourth goal in just a game and 3 minutes for Alex Veyu, who's a sophomore. That's her 10th goal of the year, and Wayzata strikes early. It's going to be interesting to see how Edina responds after conceding this early on.
And Veyu was the one that had a hat trick the other night, again in the semifinal game. So she had a hat trick, so she is getting hot at the right time.
And it's important for those key role players to get involved for Wayzata. We know their three-headed attack and send in Craig and Sarah Hyde, but Alex Veyu, what a state tournament for her.
Yeah, Craig, another really fun player to watch. We saw her as a freshman make a big impact on the field last year in the state final. And Hyde, who's attending Creighton, another really important player for them. All of them, I mean, it's a gaudy amount of goals Wayzata scored this year. It's 91 goals. So then Sinden, I think, with 24, Craig with 14, Hyde with 18. I mean, that's a lot of goals. And Wayzata plays a really tough schedule. So those aren't padding against soft teams. I mean, they're scoring goal against well-organized defenses.
And if we could, I don't want to skip over Lauren Craig. This year as a sophomore, 14 goals, 22 assists. We touched on her. She replaced Grace Espy last year as a freshman. That valuable experience is carried over, and she's had a marvelous season.
Yeah, she was fun to watch last year. I mean, I think both these teams getting that experience in the state final is really, really helpful. I mean, the kids have settled in. As a freshman, you played in it. You know what to expect. You know the rhythm of the games. It's different playing in the Dome. And so when you get experience in the state final, it changes it. Your team's a different team. And I think that's why in the 3A and the 2A, we see teams that have had experience in the state final.
Another touch early on for Sofia Alvarez, one of the most confident goalkeepers you'll see. Started as a sophomore last year, now a junior, bringing Wayzata to an 18-1-1 record.
They say this left side for Wayzata is just lethal. I mean, they have Senden, who's an excellent left-sided player, obviously Division I player, that kind of level, and then behind her they have Voss. And Voss has been called in with the youth national team. She's an incredible kid to watch. I've loved watching her play this year. Really good on the ball, tough, left-sided, technical. She has all the ingredients to have a great future.
Yeah, Voss replacing two key starters from last year's team, Michaela Adams and Avery Olmstead, both graduating, but Abby Beal and Elena Grabowski, both a year older, and then Voss as a freshman stepping in, has done another great job for the Trojans as Wayzata carries ahead. Given away, and Edina going back to Elena McGuire. Ellie Doskotch, the second team All-State, Anna Connor, first team All-State in the back, and then Lou Ruffian, who made some noise 2 years ago in the run to the final. They lost to Rosemount a couple years ago. What a run Edina's had. You know, we talked about it, third place, then second place, then championship last year.
And again, getting back here, I think once your team gets back here, and you saw that with Edina, they're hungry for it. They understand the level you have to play at, the level you have to practice at to get to a state final. It's difficult. It's difficult in their conference. It's difficult in their section. And it's difficult to have success once you get here.
Good defensive play there in the far corner for the Trojans. Taken over by Michaela Caverly. She's going to be important for Edina to stay in this game. Her and Lou Ruffian, two of the leading goal scorers for the Hornets. Yeah,
really, their attack has always started with the midfield for Edina. So it starts there between Caverly and Ruffian, those two really critical players. You can see how fast the final starts. So one of the things about getting here and kids that have come into the state tournament, coaches that have brought their teams here, they say, you know, it's overwhelming how quick it is at the beginning, especially those first 10 minutes. Everything is so fast. And so it's who can settle into it, who can play their brand, who can deal with how fast-paced it is, the excitement over being in a state final. It increases the speed of the game. So it's who can settle into their game. A goal at the beginning is the ideal start for Wayzata.
So these two teams met back on August 27th. Wayzata lost 2-1 to Edina. Edina's goal scorers were Avery Cooper, who does not start today, and then Lou Ruffian. The lone goal scorer for Wayzata was Sarah Hyde. That's how important it was for Alex Vayu to get involved early on for the Trojans. Played up by Lou Ruffian. Swarmed there by 3 Trojans. Ruffian so confident on the ball.
Yeah, it's super technical. I know she grew up playing a lot of futsal. She plays really with a top club team the rest of the year. It will be a very successful Division I soccer player.
Atkinson trying to flip the field of play, looking for Sendin, who unfortunately for Wayzata was a non-factor last year in the championship match. Look for Tenley Sendin to get involved here today. She's got 24 goals, 16 assists as a senior. First team All-State.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch. You know, obviously she had an incredibly successful. Oh, they're in.
Hawkinson. McGuire makes a big early save for the Hornets.
Really good job with McGuire getting off her line and cutting angle there. She's a first team All-State kid, so you expect that from a goalkeeper. Hawkinson's an interesting player for Wayzata. She took off last year to pursue her dream of playing college basketball. She's now since committed to North Dakota State, and it came back her senior year to play. But look at the impact she's made. So she's going to go on and play college basketball.
Yeah, Hawkinson 20 points this year, 12 goals, 8 assists, and here's Sarah Hyde down the right side. Hyde right at McGuire, who makes another stop.
I think Edina's got to be a little careful of the build here. So Wayzata's ripped him off a couple times in the build-up. So they're going to press him too. I'm always impressed with the way Tony gets his team to play defense. I saw it last year when they played Edina. Really man-mark Izzy Engel, made life difficult for a long period of time. And you see it again today. They just play such tough defense.
A pretty cool moment for the Hawkinson family. Sophie returning for her senior season after not playing last year as a junior. And her younger sister, Lila Hawkinson, a freshman defensive reserve, has seen some time this year. So a pretty cool moment for the Hawkinson family.
Yeah, and I think if you follow, some of these players that play basketball, Maddie Greenway would be another one we're going to see in the single A game tonight. You know, those players, Emily Olsen last year, the goalkeeper for Benilde, who played Division I basketball and soccer. There's so many great athletes in the state of Minnesota, especially female athletes. These girls are playing at incredible high levels.
Yeah, Kaylee Drogo-Lamb, number 21 in white. She's actually a 3-sport athlete. She plays lacrosse and hockey on top of soccer. Just so much athleticism on the pitch today. Edina with the deep throw-in. Just about 10 minutes gone here in the opening half. Wayzata leading 1-0, courtesy of Alex Vayu. Here's a Drogo-Lamb, switching it over for Anna Connor, trying to chip one in for Ruffian. This one off the side of the net.
That's what I love what Ruffian does from that central midfield spot. She makes those diagonal runs into the holes there, and so Wayzata is going to have to track her, and they did there. So they're tracking her all the way. They have a big task today with their D-mid, and tracking her the entire way.
Edina trying to sneak through. Alvarez aggressively off her line. A collision there. And Alvarez is slow to get up.
You can see how in the back, and this is the way Wayzata has always played its man-marking system. So they actually man-mark you in the forwards. They're man-marking Ruffian there. So they have players that are going to track Ruffian the entire way, the whole game. So a piece of it is how is she going to get space? Part of it is how she makes those diagonal runs into the box. That's a good way to unbalance a marking back system, is those diagonal runs into gaps.
And a good sight to see for Wayzata. Alvarez up to her feet. Looks like she's going to stay in the game. Backup keeper is the senior Quinn Olsen.
Alvarez, another second-team All-State player. It's hard to get to the state final without a really good goalkeeping at this level. Very difficult. So it's good to see both these teams have excellent goalkeepers.
Great environment here today, Mickey, as well. These two schools are so much supportive of their programs at the high school level, and both student sections have showed out on top of their family and friends.
Yeah, they're massive. A lot of kids not in school today at Edina Wayzata, so I love to see the support. And obviously both these schools are used to a lot of success in a lot of sports. Even making the varsity teams for these schools is a big deal. I mean, that's how many players they have. So a lot of athletes for both these schools.
Edina looking for Ali Adair up front. Back there patrolling is Carolyn Voss. Hawkinson looking to play it into space. Send in. Flag stays down. Sendin carries ahead. Open net, and Tenley Sendin makes it 2-0 Wayzata.
What a great finish. I love that touch. So the goalkeeper came out. A lot of kids would have been rattled by that and try to shoot it right away, but Tenley stayed composed, take a touch around the keeper, and buried it in the back of the net. That was really impressive. Very sophisticated. Great run by her, too, in behind the back line. As we said, this Wayzata attack is lethal. They're lethal. They've been lethal all year. No one's been able to stop them. And this is the risk you take with playing a high back line like Edina has. We talked about how they want to limit time and space, and so they push their back line up to do that. However, with that, if you have kids like Sendin with that kind of athleticism, they can get in behind the back line, and then you're in on a breakaway. And that's exactly what happened.
Tenley Sendin, a very skilled forward, can finish with either foot, but loves to finish with that left foot, and she gets her 25th goal of the season. And we talked about it last year, of all the lineage that the Sendin family has had throughout the years.
Yeah, her dad played hockey, Gopher hockey. Her mom was a gymnast at the University of Minnesota. So, and now they're sending their daughter to the Gophers to play. So I'm sure it's a lot of pride for that family. Her grandpa actually played, was a coach for Gopher football for a long time. Her uncle played baseball at the Gophers, Mark Vandersel. So it's a big Gopher family. We're excited to see her stay in the state.
And then her older sister, Bryn Sendin, preferred walk-on last year on the women's basketball team.
Yep, they're Gophers through and through, which you love to see.
Certainly.
As a Gopher, I love to see it.
Wayzata getting another look there. McGuire making the stop. Edina was a little frustrated just moments ago. I thought the flag should have came up. The flag stays down, and Sendin able to finish in the back of the net.
I didn't. She wasn't off. She made that run in behind the center back. Great timed run. Great composure on the finish. Again, the goalkeeper, she did a great job. McGuire coming out trying to rush Sendin, but Sendin just, take a calm touch around the goalkeeper and buries it with her preferred left foot. Sendin's have a great year. It's great to see her playing at this level.
Taylor Greathouse going to make a change here, bringing in the freshman Elizabeth Connor, who scored her first goal in the semis the other day on Tuesday. So she'll come in. Edina making another change as well. And for Wayzata, number 7, Julia Maroon, coming in for head coach Tony Pesnecker.
I mean, this is a mountain to climb for Edina, but, for sure there's nothing for them to lose, and there's a ton of time left here. But Wayzata's just lethal. They've been lethal all year, as they've played more and more. In my mind, who can beat these guys? Is there anybody that can take them down?
We talked to Taylor Greathouse before the match today, and she talked about just trying to focus on the next play. Don't get too ahead of yourselves no matter what the score is. So that's going to be important for Edina to not try to chase this game and try to score 2 goals within one. You can only get 1 back at a time.
That's a great mentality. You just got to get 1 back, and then you're back in the game, obviously. 1 goal changes everything. The next goal is a really critical goal for this game, and coaches always say that the 3rd goal is huge. So we'll see if Edina can settle and get some opportunities. But in the same way, Wayzata's coming out firing. I mean, they're fearless right now. They're on the front foot. They're playing aggressively. They've been here so many times. Again, this is the expectation for a Wayzata program that Tony Pesnecker has built over 35 years.
Yeah, so the last few years for Wayzata, in 2022, they were the number 1 seed. They lost in penalties to Mounds View, a great upset for the Mustangs. In 2021, they lost in the quarters 1-0 to Centennial, and last year they were runners-up to Edina. That team went undefeated for the Hornets. Wayzata hasn't won a title since 2012. Their last state championship appearance was 2018. They lost in a late conference matchup to Minnetonka.
Yeah, it's hard to understate the impact that Tony Pesnecker has made on Minnesota high school soccer. I was talking to an alum earlier just about what makes him special, and she said he really gets the kids to believe in themselves, and he sets such a high standard. I know for preseason, he sets a standard on what the kids need to come in with, what they need to do. I mean, obviously, this standard has been there for years and years, and that's why you see so many tremendous players. coming out of the Wayzata soccer program, and so many great teams. I mean, Aaron Hussey Chastain, who's now the Gopher soccer head coach, played for Tony back in those days. So there's been so many great players coming from this program. We recruited kid when I was at Gopher Soccer, Caitlin Wagner, who was a center midfielder for Tony. The last time they won the state title, another tremendous kid, and she's come back to help the program. So Tony has built something really special.
And we'll have more on the impact that Minnesota soccer has had going into the college level. But meantime, we have a corner kick, first for Edina here in the near corner. Just over 15 minutes gone in the first. Pinballing around. Elena Grabowski able to save it off the byline, and Hawkinson able to relieve some pressure.
That's a great corner served in. Always like to see left-footed players serve that into the box, because it's just harder for the goalkeeper when the ball is in swinging into them, especially in the female team. Great opportunity.
And not to go unnoticed too, last year as we see the corner kick once again. Good service. Doskotch couldn't quite get her head to it, and Wayzata able to escape out of that attack. But Deisha Roy, who was one of your favorite players last year, left-footed in-swingers, those are some of your favorite plays from the corner.
Well, you just see, after a while, you watch so many games, you just see how dangerous they are, and especially in girls high school soccer, if you can bend it in and put it in the 6-yard box, it's a chance every time. So it's always interesting, and Wayzata actually really organized their team. I don't know if you watched down there, they man-marked, they knew who they were targeting, they put all their players in the box. So they were really well organized, but not all high school teams are when it comes to set pieces. So they are great opportunities to finish. But kudos to Wayzata, they were incredibly organized, and I'm sure they've watched that film.
There's a chance for Lily Smoley down this right flank. Abby Beal defending.
Good defending.
Play.
Yeah, we noticed that last year with the 1v1 defending of Wayzata against Edina. Just the 1v1 battles they win every day. I'm sure in their training, I'm sure they practice that. I mean, that's a thing. So Tony's defenders are always winning 1-to-1 battles, and they have to. When you play that man-marking system, it's up to you to stop it. It's not a zonal system where you have a ton of cover. So I'm sure he trains that 1v1 defending, and it shows up.
So we talked about Deisha Roy, not to go overlooked there. I know Edina was so dominant with Izzy Engel, but a lot of those players, I know you're very high praise for Ashley Turk and then Grace Polito. Those were two big key losses last year.
I mean, they graduated studs. I mean, these are, all-time studs. I mean, Izzy Engel, if anybody's watched Notre Dame soccer this year, I mean, she's incredible on a national, as a freshman on a national scale. That's how good she is, and I think we mentioned that last year. So to lose what they lost, and I love Ashley Turk. I think she's a huge piece of what the Gophers have done this year. I don't think she's come off the field as a left back as a freshman. And Grace Polad's having a good year too at Army. So they've lost some big time players. So it's amazing what Edina has been able to do, losing those kind of players and losing their coach too. So they've had to adjust to things.
Good chance there from Michaela Caverly trying to curl it in with her left foot. Alvarez making the stop.
I think one of the best games Edina played all year was probably that semifinal versus Eastridge. I mean, Eastridge has a number of good players. Obviously, they have Wildman and Pennon and some really good technical players, and they just could not adjust to Edina's pressure. Now, what you're watching was that they've seen Edina's pressure before. You can tell it is not rattled Edina at all. In fact, they say, hey, if you want to press us, we're going to play balls in behind like they did to Sendon. And that is the way sometimes to release that pressure. So Wayzata wasn't surprised at all at Edina's pressure, and I would say they settled in. They knew exactly how to counter that, where I thought Eastridge hadn't seen that all year. They're from a different part of the city, hadn't played. I mean, there's a benefit to playing each other previously, right? These teams know each other really, really well.
Yeah, 100%.
And we talked to both coaches before the game, and they mentioned it's amazing how much film study these coaches are doing now, especially in this game of soccer. So they talked about probably the biggest piece of prep is just going over all the game footage, setting up how we're gonna defend corners, how we're gonna adjust, how we're gonna attack them. So these coaches and these staffs have put a tremendous amount of time into that.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's one of the reasons why they continue to make deep runs in the state tournament.
I think that surprises sometimes people that don't play aren't in the game of soccer, of how much film now is involved in the preparation for these teams and these coaching staffs.
Foul coming against the Trojans here as Edina was looking to escape, send in just a little shove, and Edina will have a free kick on their own half of the field. Wayzata first to the ball there. This one going to deflect off of the Hornets, so throw in for the Trojans. We approach the midway point of this first half. Hogan Greenwood, Mickey Danny Wright with you. Wayzata striking early in the first 2 minutes, courtesy of Alex Vayu, and then Tenley Senning getting her 25th of the year shortly after that.
This Cavalry is so good on the ball, right? You see her, ruffian, but you also been impressed watching the last couple games with just how settled she is under pressure, her decision making. She's a great playmaker.
So free kick for Edina here after another Trojan foul, and Cavalry got some valuable experience last year as a freshman, making that deep run, also playing with two great players in Engel and then Ruffian, who returns.
Yeah, and any more you can see on the field, like we talked about Craig and Cavalry, some of these players that are making great impacts as freshmen in some of the biggest schools in the cities, right? These are huge schools with, huge amount of kids trying out, huge amount of kids on all teams, 4 to 5 teams. For freshmen to come in here and start, it's a big undertaking. So it just shows to the tremendous amount of talent in the state of Minnesota and really amongst these young players.
So that free kick sailed over the top of the net. Let's talk about that point. We're reading articles about 122 college students from Minnesota playing at the Division I level. It's just incredible how Minnesota soccer has taken off in recent history.
Yeah, the Star Tribune had a great article. I love that they cover it of the youth movement here with Gopher Soccer, all the players that are having success, just not regionally at the Division I level, but and not just Division I, all different levels, nationally on the national scene. So tonight, Gopher Soccer plays Penn State on the Big Ten tournament. Katie McBean off Penn State is their premier attacker. On the other side, Kaya Harper for the Gophers. I mean, these are players in the top goal scorers in the country. And you could just go across the country looking at different players that made an impact at that level. So it's really fun to see how good girls soccer is here in the state of Minnesota and how much attention now it's getting nationally. So these kids are going to play. There's several kids on this team that are going to make an impact next year at Power 4 conferences, just as Izzy Engel did.
Carolyn Voss doing a great job shielding it out for a goal kick.
Ian Voss, I think, is another kid. You talk about somebody with youth national experience. So, these high school coaches, it's a tough task to take all these kids. And the thing that, Tony said even about the season here in Minnesota, it's so quick. It's so fast. You start first week in August. I mean, it's game. So those coaches like a Taylor Greathouse who are able to take this group of talented kids, form a team, help make them consistent, get a game plan, and execute at this kind of level. I mean, it's a tremendous task, and it's really impressive what a lot of these high school coaches do.
Yeah, and it certainly shouldn't go unnoticed. We already talked about it, but they only lose their first match of the season, and they haven't lost since. That's pretty impressive.
Yep, lost to Rosemont, 4-2. You could see Craig getting in here.
Craig just curling it wide of the near post. She's another player we talked about, so good on the ball.
You just got to love it. So, Wayzata is doing such a good job adjusting to the back line, this high back line of Edina. So you can see here, Lauren Craig making a run in behind the center back, staying on, timing her run, and then getting that space in behind, because that's where the space is. Edina plays such a high line. The space is in behind those backs. And if you can start to attack that space, the backs start to back up, and then your midfield has more space. So Tony's done a great game plan here against Edina.
Anything in specific you want to see from Edina moving forward? You want to see him using those wide channels inside, or you want to see him working from the inside out?
I think the way I would recommend is this run by Ruffian into those gaps. So I don't think that Edina, with all their team playing in high, I would like to see them get more numbers forward into the attack. So you got to get Ruffian up in there. You got to get your wide players, like you talked about. Their wide players are drifting back, maybe because Voss is playing so high. But what I would say to my team now is just to get those outside flank players into the attack. Edina needs more numbers into the attack right now.
Another foul on the Trojans back in Edina territory. They'll have a free kick here with Kaylee Idrogo-Lamb.
The pace of the game is settled now. You can feel it, right? The first few minutes, The first 10 minutes, it was really, really fast-paced. So now it is settled. The game is a little bit slower. Hopefully these kids can execute a little bit better technically when it's a little, more of an even level. But again, like we said, the next goal is the most important goal. So I think, for the Edina staff, they're saying to these Edina kids, clearly they have the talent. Here's Ruffian. This is where you want her.
Another great job, though, by Wayzata, able to shield it out.
And I love her getting in the box. I mean, you're guessing the great things that are going to come out of the attack are going to come off Ruffian, so stay high. I mean, there's no need, honestly, for her to come back now. You're down 2 goals. You're going to have to take some risks. So those risks are going to have to be getting players forward. This is not the time to sit back for Edina. They got to change the game, and they got to send numbers forward.
Anna Connor playing it up for Cash Marzinski. This one taking a deflection off of Hyde. Throw in Hornets right in front of the Trojan bench. Under 15 minutes to play in this first half. 2-0 Wayzata in front. Another great play there by Carolyn Voss as Cash Marzinski retreats.
I would just say Wayzata's defense thus far, and much of the year when I've watched them, is just stifling. Here's Caverly. Great move. I mean, not a bad thing to take. She's a left-footed kid to take a shot from that distance. But then you do see all the 4 players from Edina getting in the box, right? Which is good. She might have wanted to play one of them. I don't know if he beat Alvarez from that distance.
Yeah, it certainly could have been a display of Cavalry maybe getting a little frustrated trying to take a shot because she had open space, but maybe that wasn't the right play to make at that moment.
This is where your leadership matters, right? On both sides. Even the Wayzata up 2 goals, I'm sure this is where their seniors are saying, do not let your foot off the pedal. Let's go, drive it up even another notch. And then Edina, they got to say, don't give up. Here you go, great ball by Ruffian into the middle.
Caverly shot off the back of a Wayzata defender, still open in the middle, knocked away. Cash Marzinski trying to keep it, and it finds the feet of Lauren Craig. Wayzata looking to counter. They'll slow things up out wide for Voss.
And you could see as Craig is turning there, Senden making a great run in behind the back line. So that is the way to beat Edina, and that's exactly what Wayzata is doing. Really well coached, and there's Senden finally got it.
Senden crossing in, comes all the way through. Drops for Hawkinson, trying to settle it down and just chipped it over.
I think they called a foul there in the box on that collision. But the same thing, I love Wayzata doesn't need a lot of passes. You can see they sent the ball into Craig. Craig made a great turn, faced up, and then Senden's making a dynamic run in behind the back line. Edina's going to have to deal with that. They're going to have to shut that down because Wayzata is going to get way more opportunities. If you're letting Wayzata make the turn and then slot balls in between your backs who are running behind them, it's going to be a long day for Edina, so I'm sure they'll make that adjustments. There's another slotted ball in behind the back line.
Craig for Senden.
What a
McGuire off her line, and Senden puts it in. Her second of the day, and Wayzata has taken over here in the first.
Wow, Tenley Senden. What an incredible game for her. What an incredible start here. That was fantastic, and I think, again, you saw Craig facing up, putting a beautiful slotted ball in behind the back line to Tenley Senden. And look at this first touch. She cuts it back, perfect cut back, and then a finish. If she tries to shoot it there with her left foot, it's probably blocked by a good goalkeeper, but she takes a composed touch and finishes. So I'm sure she learned a lot by watching the game or experiencing the game last year against Edina. Didn't have the game she probably wanted, and now she's just dominating. Not just that, not even just the runs and the tactical awareness getting behind the back line, but just the composure in the box. Can't tell you, so many kids get in the box and everything's so fast for them and they just knock it over the goal, or they don't, but she just stays composed, cuts it in, and puts it around the goalkeeper. Great stuff by Tenley Senden, and that's fun to see.
We talk about learning from within. We haven't really mentioned Grace Espy. She didn't play last year in the final due to injury. But Senden just really gives me those vibes of Grace Espy. Can finish with either foot, loves getting to that left, and great composure on the finish. Yeah,
she's showing all the elements right now. And talking to players who've watched her from last year, it's fun. You always want to see once a kid commits to a school, are they continue to develop, are they continue to grow? And we used to watch that as a college coach. But what's so fun about Tenley is her best years are ahead of her. So you keep watching her grow and develop, and she's hungry to get better and develop, and you got to love that.
So Tenley Senden getting her 25th and 26th goal of the year. Wayzata gets that very important third goal. They lead 3-0 as we hit 11 minutes to go. Edina just looking for some answers here to finish out the first.
And you just love the spirit of Wayzata. I mean, really, they're up 2-0. They got even better. I mean, they're so dynamic. They just put, like we said, their foot on the pedal. These kids, I watched this last year when they were playing Edina, and they were clearly the underdog. They have a spirit about them at Wayzata Soccer. It's so fun to watch. I mean, they are competitors to the last minute. I absolutely love that, and that's just a testament to how you train. You don't show up on game day with that kind of spirit. You got to train that. You got to build that into your culture. You got to be a competitor. I love how competitive Wayzata always is. I love that about their program, and that's really why bringing talented kids into that program, they get even better because that competitive spirit, you know, iron sharpens iron, and they play a really tough conference. They play tough games all the time, but it's that expectation. And, you know, they had some years, you know, where they didn't win those state titles. I mean, it's been a little bit for them, and they're hungry. You can tell talking to Tony, I mean, he wants one. You get so close for so many years, right? They want another state title.
Yep, it's been 12 years since they've won their last, 4,382 days to be exact. Their last title came on November 1st in 2012. Maybe a little things lining up for Wayzata here in 2024.
You just love to see that. I mean, Tony, for 35 years, I mean, he's led him through those moments. He's led him through great moments. He's led him through hard moments. I mean, he's just been consistent. And you love to see that. I think building great programs takes consistency. It takes standards. You have to build it day in and day out. These are not easy fixes, but a Wayzata culture is through and through. You talk to kids who have played at Wayzata, the amount of pride they have for that program is immense. And that's good for everything. It's good for the community. It's good for the game of soccer. It's good for the kids.
So Taylor Greathouse making a couple changes. Maddie McWayne back in along with Ali Adair. Send in Kicksay McGuire.
Kids on a mission.
Think about Wayzata is, like, as you talked about, they just keep coming in waves. They don't matter how many goals they're up by, down by, and they really just bring the pressure. This one last off of Lou Ruffing and out.
Yeah, and I think once you get a taste like you did last year where you get so close and then you lose, you give so much. I mean, this puts a chip on your shoulder. You train the rest of the year thinking about those moments. We're going to get back there, and next time we are going to make it, we're not going to let that happen again. You can see that in the Wayzata kids, can't you? I mean, they're just like, no, we're not going to let it get taken away from us again. So those moments build a lot of character when approached the right way.
A couple changes for Tony Pesnecker. Number 15, Addie Milo into the game, along with number 20, Ella O'Keefe. She spells Sophie Hawkinson and Lauren Craig.
8 minutes in, and I really think Edina's best soccer was really at the beginning of the half, wasn't it? You know, right at the get-go, they played their brand, and now they're a little bit under the gun. And you know, Taylor will do a great job of bringing them in at halftime and say, let's start over. You know, what adjustments can you make? I think you have to find a way to probably bring the center back a little bit to adjust for those runs in behind what Zeta's getting. You got to find a way to get the ball. There's another ball in behind again. Their fours are staying really high. What a ball.
Milo trying to cross this one in, and McGuire makes the save. Number 7, Kelly Sprague on for the Hornets.
Great stuff by Milo. She was impressive. I've seen her play before too. Great kid to bring in. You know, when you bring subs in, if they can raise the level even more, it's so helpful, and Milo does that.
Yeah, Addie Milo, junior forward, 5 goals, 4 assists on the year. And another ball dropping for Senden. Surveys her options. Cleared away by Idrogo Lamb, up for Lulu Ruffian.
And you could just see how, you see Ruffian's technical ability here. She just has fun playing on the ball. She wants the ball at her feet. She does different things. But when you play the ball in behind, and now you can see the Edina defenders, they're tired. You know, Wayzata's playing those direct balls in behind, sliding balls in behind, so those backs have had to turn and run a lot. And again, they're playing against Division I athletes they're trying to run against. So it's tough for them. You can see again Edina's high back line, but they're in. So that space in behind Edina is going to have to organize. That's really where the opportunities of Wayzata have come, is that space in behind. And I'm sure Pesnecker, that was his goal, no doubt. I'm guessing the first game they didn't attack it the way he wanted to, and the second one they're not going to make that mistake.
Yeah, at this point for Edina, as much as a goal is important to get on the board, it's almost just as important to not concede another, as we have a Edina Hornet down behind the play.
She had a collision right there with the goalkeeper with the 50-50 ball. She went in there. Hopefully she's okay. Again, about 5 minutes left, and you can't say enough about the way the Wayzata started this game. I mean, this is high-level soccer, and they are finishing. I mean, they were relentless in their attack, and their defense have been so tough. Haven't given the top players in Edina any time and space to play. Every time Ruffian touches a ball or Caverly touches the ball, I mean, there's somebody right there. You know, they're having to beat 2 or 3 players.
So teams will come over to their bench, get a little bit of a hydration break as the athletic trainer is down to check on Edina Hornet player. Can't quite see the number at the moment. We'll get that to you here momentarily.
You talk a little bit about how fast, and both coaches touched upon how fast high school soccer is in the state of Minnesota, how quick it is. So it starts in August. It's really, really fast. They play a lot of games in a short amount of time. So keeping your team healthy is hard. Keeping your team consistent is hard. I mean, these kids are doing other things. They're going to school. Taylor talked about this. You know, they're trying to, you know, that do well academically. They have to, you know, be consistent on the soccer field every single day when they're playing tough competition. So it's a fast and tough season to navigate for these coaches and these kids. And most of these kids, after they're done, they'll get maybe a week, maybe a couple days off, and then they go play club right away. So it's a year-round deal. A lot of these kids play for top clubs in the state. Some of them get a day off. Some of them don't even get that. They go in, they'll play this weekend in scrimmages. And take off on playing tournaments.
Yeah, how it's important to find that balance, right? Especially as a young athlete.
Yeah, I'm not sure there is balance anymore in the game, but they play a lot of soccer and they play a lot of high-level soccer. The one thing that is, I think, that has changed a lot as I've watched, you know, years and years of this is there is a lot more performance training. So a lot of these kids are lifting. They're taking care of their bodies in a different way. That part of the game has grown so much, a lot more recovery. I read a great article about Holy Angels team, how they're using the jump plate to see how recovered they are. So there is, I think, a lot. Again, that space in behind is really dangerous now for Edina. I think once they pull the line up, they might want to drop that center back even a little bit more to protect that space because Wayzata's got some athletes. So they're going to get there.
Here's Milo on the turn, and McGuire cuts it off. Yeah.
Great save. McGuire's so confident off her line. Love to see her cut angle. You could see even on Sendon's goal. I mean, she's coming out. Sendon just takes a great touch, but McGuire's been really impressive today. This Milo's made an impact.
So number 6, Lily Sexton in for the injured Edina Hornet. Final 5 minutes here as this one curls out on the near side.
And Sendon again looking for the ball in behind. This kid knows where she wants the ball. She's like, send it to me, I'm going to get there. Even so that Wayzata, I mean, they play in the ball in behind in 1 or 2 passes. So it's not like it's a ton of possession side to side. I mean, today they've decided, hey, we're going to play direct, right? We're going to play up and down the field.
Throwing for Edina. Connor looking to get it in for Ruffian. Tackled away by Mahabadi.
Like we talked about, every time Ruffian touches the ball, I mean, she has a shadow. She has somebody in her pocket, which Ruffian can play out of. I mean, that's the thing that makes her special. Even if they do put a shadow, she certainly has the technical ability to play out of it.
This one off of Ali Adair and out. Voss wasting no time getting the throw into Milo. Ainsley Graves will go all the way back to McGuire.
And this back line of Edina's dealt with a ton of pressure today. So you're hoping that, you know, the forwards and the midfield for Edina can start to release a little of that pressure, hold the ball up top, keep it in possession in their half, in their final third.
Another foul on the Trojans. Plus territory, a free kick for Edina.
And if you're going to come back, you got to make these count. I know we talked last year a little bit how important set pieces are in the game, in the girls high school soccer, incredibly important on both sides of the ball. You got to make every one of those count, and you can see the differences as you're watching high school soccer. Those teams that are really dangerous on set pieces, on corners, it makes a difference, a huge difference. Those are great opportunities. So you'd like to see Edina take their time and make those count. Get something on frame out of your set piece opportunities.
Edina, the lone corner kick in this half led to a good chance, just couldn't quite finish. Now a Drogo Lamb up for Lily Sexton. Ava Nayar, a player that might go under the radar, is just another solid backline player for Tony Pesner.
He just breeds these kids. I mean, they just have they have these kids. They just man mark and they're relentless. And it's, for Edina, it just is so hard for them to build and to create, under this kind of pressure being man marked. Again, it's a different feeling. A lot of teams play zonally. They're not used to being fouled all around the field. But it's tough when that happens. Again, what I would say is then you got to make runs out of the midfield into those gaps. So you got to make your forwards got to come back, create space, and then have midfielders make runs into the gaps they created. But that's not easy to do. It's been an incredibly successful season for incredibly successful system for Tony Pesnecker through the years. So essentially, he has played the same system.
Tackled away there by Beal. Throw in for Edina, under 2 minutes to play. Ava Nayar, by the way, younger sister of Lily Nayar, who was an offensive-minded player from a few years ago. And second corner kick of the half coming for the Hornets.
No, you'll see if Ruffian can put this, because this is a great opportunity for Edina. If they're going to come back, they're going to have to make the most. There's a minute and a half left. Get your bodies in the box. We need a good service, get an opportunity. You can see how Wayzata, how many players they have in the box right now. Up 3 goals, they still sit their whole team in the box defensively. Half marking, half zonal. 2 kids on the post.
To the back post, headed
great
back
ball by
in,
Ruffian.
and cleared away by Sendin. Edina looking to reset with Lucia Begg. Played up by Sendin. Wayzata looking to counter. Ellie Doskotch back there. Final minute of the first. Julia Maroon getting a touch. Back for Ava Nayar. Looking for Ella O'Keefe. Doskotch still doing her best defending. Maybe a late chance for the Trojans. Trying to center for Milo.
You can see how much Wayzata plays on this left side with the quality they have in their left side players with Voss and Sendin. The ball has spent an enormous amount of time, probably 90% of the time on this half, has it not? So when that happens, Wayzata is going to have a good day because they have such strength on this left side.
Throw in for the Trojans at midfield as we go under the final 10 seconds. Play back in the middle for Milo. Maybe one last chance for Hyde. McGuire makes the stop, and that is the end of the first half.
Yes, great half by Wayzata High School. What a tremendous start for them. I mean, they put the ball where they wanted to. They executed their plan. They put Edina under the gun, and they finished. Led by, obviously, Tenley Sendin. But also tremendous job by all their defenders. The man marking, they really limited the time and space and opportunities for Edina. And Edina's going to have to regroup. I would say maybe you change your system here. I mean, you have a huge hole to dig out of. How do you change and how do you bring new energy and how do you adjust? So I think there's probably time for some big time adjustments in this halftime for Edina to find a way, just get one back against Wayzata.
So Wayzata leads 3-0 at the break. Championship match in Class 3A. We'll come back momentarily, talk about what we saw in the first half, what we expect to see in the second half. We'll step aside here from US Bank Stadium. And we're back here at US Bank Stadium. Hogan Greenwood, Mickey Denny Wright, excited and delighted to be with you here. Halftime with Wayzata leading 3-0 over the Edina Hornets. Your first half analysis, Mickey.
Well, it was all Wayzata. I mean, just domination, and it was fun to watch because they executed their plan at such a high level. Obviously, attacking the space and behind, 1v1, man marking, defending all around the field to limit Edina's talented attackers. And it was obviously their half 3-0. Edina's got a big mountain to climb here, but I think what we talked a little bit about last year, Wayzata lost a tough game to Edina, and clearly they learned from that. now they're a better team coming out of it. So Edina not only can use this half to try to get back in the game, one goal at a time, but also I think they have so many young kids on that roster. So they only graduate 2 seniors. All these kids are getting really valuable experience on this stage to play against a really good Wayzata team. So that's probably how I'd approach it. Hey, we're going to start over 0-0. Who can you be in this moment? Who can you be when the game is down, when we're 3-0? Who are you? What is your character? How can you rise up? How can you offer something better than you did the first half? That's the challenge for those young kids. It's not just all about coming back and winning this game. It's about how can they grow as kids and people, and what a great time to challenge them. So I think that we're going to find a little bit about the character of Edina and some of these kids, challenge them to come back and battle and not hang their heads. And then Wayzata, I don't see them taking their foot off the gas. Do you?
I do not. So first half recap there was Alex Veyu getting the first goal in the opening minutes, her 10th of the year. Then Tenley Seton getting the second and third goal of the match, her 25th and 26th goal of the season. As a head coach, Mickey, you want to touch on Tony Pesnecker's career to this point, 35 years. He's got 562 career wins, and he's going for his eighth overall state title.
It's just amazing what he's given to the game. I don't know if anybody will ever match his wins. 562 career wins. So this would be 563. This would be 8 state titles. Again, it's hard to understate. And if you talk to him, I think he's always kind of had a teacher's mentality. He's approached the game and this as helping kids get better, help grow in the community. He's coached in the club community. He's taught. And he's a humble guy. He's wonderful to talk to. He's shared knowledges with everybody. He's inclusive. He's reached out. I mean, when I took the Gopher job, he was one of the first people that reached out to me. He's just a wonderful guy and really has developed some wonderful players in his time. So how special is that for Wayzata soccer to come back and get this kind of opportunity to celebrate what they've built and what Tony's built? Holy smokes.
So Wayzata in the goal. They'll be going from left to right in the second half. Edina in the white, going from right to left. An early cross in from Lauren Craig. It goes all the way out for an Edina throw. What are we looking for in the opening minutes here from the Edina Hornets?
Let's see if they adjust what they're doing. See if they adjust their shape. Sometimes it takes just a little bit of adjustment of shape to ignite your team, get a little bit of fire, get a little bit of belief. Let's see what they can do. So we're watching those moments. They obviously have the talent to score goals in bunches. They beat Wayzata earlier this season, so they're not down and out of this. And again, I think it's an opportunity for them. The game of soccer is not always going to go your way. You're going to be down. The game of life is the same way, right? So challenge these kids to grow and learn in these moments. It'll be wonderful to see who will step up in these moments. I think that's what you're looking for as a coach, and build your future at Edina.
Edina, as you mentioned, 14-1-5 on the year. They haven't lost a game since the opening match to Rosemount. 5 draws in the season, including a win against Wayzata. The Trojans looking for not only revenge this year, but to avenge their runner-up loss to the Hornets in the championship match. This one pinballing off of McGuire, and now Lauren Craig picks it up on the near side. Early ball in, and smothering it there is McGuire.
Again, you kind of love to see McGuire's aggressiveness off the line. I mean, she took a risk there. I think that's totally fine to kind of manage that spacing behind the backs and help them out. She's going to have to do more of that, but I do love to see goalkeepers when they're aggressive off the line.
Abby Beal coming over to play it out at midfield.
And that might be a way you saw a ball into space there. You might, Coach Greathouse might be asking her team, let's play into more space. Try to open up this tight Wayzata defense.
That ball might have went out. We play on though as Maddie McWayne gets an early look. This one out from Connor, and it's going to go wide of the net. Did want to mention 2 changes that Taylor Greathouse made. It appears that number 2, Maddie McWayne, is starting in the second half, along with number 15, Elizabeth Connor. Elizabeth Connor, a freshman, who got her first goal of the year in the semifinals on Tuesday.
And she's been dangerous all year for Taylor, and so it's good to see her get an opportunity again. That's the future of Edina soccer here, so we're getting her great moments, and Edina wants to live in Wayzata's in. They're going to have to take a lot of risks. They're going to have to get some opportunities, and you can see it here now. That last one was a great opportunity with the ball across the box. They might have to go with one less defender here and just put some extra numbers forward just to see get a chance. But I think the main message I'm sure the coaches, Edina coaches, gave to the team is just belief and find the first goal. Doesn't have to, you don't have to climb the whole mountain at once. Find the first goal. But they're going to have to change the way they play because they didn't have much except, you know, a couple corners, right? I mean, they didn't have many shots. So they're going to have to change the way they play to open this game up and create some opportunities.
Yeah, Edina had 2 corner kicks. They also had a couple more set piece
Great ball,
opportunities. This
finish
one
it.
curling
Yep.
in.
Great ball into the box. Giving that back, she probably wants to put that on the ground, but there you go, getting around the corner. So there's another opportunity. Edina's been in the box and attacked the flanks twice and got balls in. Their next step is obviously to finish it, and then this game becomes a different game with this next goal.
Drops for Cash Marzinski. Now Ainsley Graves here on the near side. Graves will carry ahead, try to
Good
slip
ball.
one through for Smoley, and played out by Nayar.
They're obviously trying to push more numbers forward. Great adjustments by Edina this half. You could see they're trying to push more numbers forward and try to play balls into space rather than always into feet. Sometimes when you're man marked, obviously the space to play the ball, obviously you want to play in behind. And so that is a way to loosen up the smothering. That's how I define the defense of Wayzata that first half. It was just smothering. You could see the Edina start to get annoyed. That's how smothering it was. I remember last year in the first half, Izzy Engel getting a little bit annoyed, right? Because you always had somebody, 1 or 2 players in the pocket from Wayzata.
Saw the replay there. The flag was up on the far side. That's why Wayzata gets a free kick there. Edina quickly back on the attack. It's Lou Ruffian. Taken away by Mahabadi. Ruffian trying to win it back and unable to keep it in on the far side.
And again, Ruffian's going to have to, you know, be the heart that beats this team this half. So getting into space, getting opportunities. And I like her to get a couple shots. She can strike a ball. So, half chance. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just a half chance on goal.
Here's Connor carrying forward. Connor looking for a cross and a corner coming for the Hornets.
And then we talked about set pieces. What a great way to get back into the game for Edina. The one thing is Wayzata's really organized on these set pieces. They clearly spend a lot of time organizing set pieces. Tony's been around long enough to know that these can be it can be the determining factor in a game, set pieces.
Ruffian service in.
There it is.
Doskach, and a great save off the line again. This
Holy
one
smoke.
ricocheting. Ruffian, and Wayzata survives the threat.
You gotta be kidding me. And that's unbelievable. And I think, how many efforts off the line was that? 4? Let's watch this again.
Well, here's the replay. Ruffian's first service in. It fell for Doskach.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 efforts off the goal line. I don't know if I've ever seen that. 5 efforts off the goal line. So again, a testament to the grit of Wayzata. We just said there, this defensive mentality that Tony develops in this team. Now we just call it grit. There you go. I'd like to see Ruffian take more of those opportunities. That's a half chance. Try to bury that in the back of the net. But the 5 goal line saves off the line, I mean, those kids, and they're up 3 goals. I just love to see that kind of competitive mentality of this Wayzata team. It still sticks with me how disappointed they were last year. You know, I still remember those kids gave so much on the field. We were talking about, like, it just, in that game against Edina, everybody doubted them except themselves. Somebody forgot to tell Wayzata they weren't supposed to win that game. And they just grinded and battled, and it was such a closer game than anyone expected. And now you can see that play out, their belief in themselves.
Yeah, talking about that last year's match, I mean, they were going up against the #1 player in Izzy Engel, and they also didn't have their best player in Grace Espy. So that was an uphill battle for Wayzata. They're looking for the revenge this year. Flag is up on the near side, offsides.
And we talked last year watching the game and what an impact Izzy Engel would make at the college level. And we made a good guess because I've seen her play a few times on TV at Notre Dame, and that kid is making incredible impact. That's how good she was, and it continues to be, that she's one of the top freshmen in the country. So Wayzata was defending some really important players last year.
Grabowski with the throw in. Getting into Lauren Craig. Craig gets by Graves, carrying down the right flank. Nice little touch. Craig kept it in. This one ricocheting back for Grabowski.
We said that last year when she came in for SB. We said, who is this freshman, this Craig? She was everywhere. So you noticed her last year, and you could see she's more refined this year, connecting a little bit, more confident. You could see her growth as a sophomore, even 1 year getting that experience last year.
Craig tripped down and a foul. A dangerous set piece coming for the Trojans.
So let's see how everybody organizes this. Again, we talked about the amount of time these teams do spend on set pieces, both on the attacking side and the defensive side. It's a huge part of the game.
Got 4 players over the ball here for the Trojans, discussing a little strategy. Mahabadi, Sendin, Nayar, and Hyde.
I'd let Sendin crack it with their left foot, personally.
So they had this set play actually on Tuesday as well, so watch how this plays out here.
Okay. She is making sure if it's direct or indirect, which is smart. She just wants to make sure.
So a little deception. They play it for Sendin, and that one just curls over the crossbar. Nice little set play, though.
Yep. And just redirecting the ball and those kind of movements, they just freeze the defense. So you saw Edina just froze when that was happening. Everybody just watched it, and that's really what you're trying to create with that kind of set piece, is just getting the defense to freeze so you can get an open look, and they did.
So we hit 10 minutes gone in this second half. Wayzata leading 3-0. All goals scored in the first half. Edina looking just for one goal here to give themselves a spark.
And as we said, it's been a more even, right? The first 10 minutes has been more even. You saw Edina get a couple looks finally down on that level, and Wayzata saved 5 off the line. So Edina's had some opportunities here. Ruffian had a shot. They've had a couple corners. So a testament to the coaching staff of Edina. They've, gotten their kids to come out and fight, for this second half.
Contact there as Beal hit the deck. Foul on Edina. Smoley playing it back for Graves. Got a whistle here, bringing it back for a foul. Edina's had, for the most part, a pretty smooth run through the state tournament. 5-0 in the quarters over Duluth East, and then it was 0-0 at the half against Eastridge, and then they kind of took over in the second half. First time really facing adversity here in the state tournament. A lot to overcome against this powerhouse in Wayzata.
I mean, this is a good Edina team. Only 1 loss on the season. They have been, and that's the first game of the year. So I'm sure they're adjusting to a new coaching staff, adjusting to a new team. They are not used to losing, so they're going to battle. These kids know how to win. Obviously coming off a state title last year.
They get a whistle and a foul on Edina, it appears, so free kick coming for the Trojans. And in these state championship matches, there's not a whole lot of margin for error.
Yeah, this is most of the games we've called it the last 2 years. This is the 3rd year now, have been really tight. So unusual to see, a game with 3 goals in the first. Every 3 goals down, anything can happen in the game. Even in the boys' game previous to this, it went to overtime. What a great game that was. Egan coming out with their first state title on the boys' side. But these are typically really tight games.
It's a ball out wide for Caverly. Smoley running down the middle. Caverly cuts
Good
it
save.
Back. Caverly in, and Alvarez makes a
Great save by Alvarez. But that's a great build-up from Edina. It's kind of what we're hoping to see the first half, that build-up from Caverly coming out of the midfield. She cut it in. Try to crush it. Again, Alvarez with a great save coming off the line there and cutting angle. But I think Edina needs more of that, don't they? But they're certainly the second half creating more opportunities.
Send in, trying to play one over the top for Craig. Back there is Ainsley Graves. She'll be content with playing it out.
You just wonder, you know, sitting in Tony's pregame talk to this team, if they talked about those balls in behind, because Wayzata has certainly targeted that space in behind right there. Sendin picked her head up. The first thing she tried to do was to find Craig in behind. So I think it's been a game plan.
Hawkinson will take the throw in for the Trojans. Flicked up by Lou Ruffian. And last off of Abby Beal.
Abby Beal's been really tough back there for Wayzata. You know, talking just some of the defenders back there for Wayzata, as we talked about. And it seems to be part of their culture.
A couple changes here for the Hornets. Kelly Sprague back on, along with Allie Adair.
Really good 1v1 defending. You can see that 1v1 defending right there on Ruffian.
Yeah, Nicole Mahabadi commits the foul, gives another set piece for the Hornets.
And Mahabadi, that's been her entire task this game, is to follow Ruffian around, honestly, and defend her, and she's done a heck of a job.
Sarah Hyde to the first ball. Doe Scotch looking to reset. Pinballing back for Beal. Nice little touch here from Caverly.
And she's good on the ball. It's fun to watch. What a ball.
Edina gets on the board. Caverly with the service, and the Hornets might have life.
Now, was that an own goal? I wonder who scored that. But that service in behind by Caverly is the key. Let's watch this play. She's left-footed, obviously. Bends it in behind the backs. Puts a great pace on it. Yeah, own goal. But when you serve that kind of ball, I mean, how do you clear that? When they put that kind of bend on it, that's why you ask your flank players to serve the ball in like that. So hard for the defense to clear. What a great goal for Edina. I mean, they're back in this game. And as we talked about, they came out the second half, starting to get opportunities. 5 saves off the goal line on a corner for Wayzata, and now Edina finally gets one.
So I think the goal is going to be credited to Allie Adair, who is the closest player. I don't think they give own goals in high school. It was an own goal off the back of Voss, but nonetheless, Edina gets on the board, and to get back in this match, all you need is one goal. Now they're looking for the second goal. Anything can change here with 25 minutes to play.
Caverly stepped up this half. We talked about who's going to step up in these moments, who's not going to put their head down. You know, I think the entire team has come out hoping to prove something. We're in this game. We belong. But Caverly has stepped up, and that service with their left foot is magic. That's the perfect service, because what does Voss do with that? I mean, any touch off a bent ball like that, you can't clear it. And it's up, you know, when you bend it, sometimes when you float them in, it's easier for goalkeepers to get underneath. It's easier for back post players to get underneath and clear with their head. But when you drive a bent ball like that in, it's so hard to clear. What part of your body is supposed to clear that with? So, you know, Voss she didn't know what to do with it. It's tough. And the goalkeeper can't come for those kind of balls, right? So perfect service by Caverly. I've been impressed with her. She's a good little player. Now what do you do here, right? What's the next step? So can you, the leaders for Edina, find the next one? The game of soccer can turn so quickly. Wayzata's got to settle it and say, hey, we need another one. Let's get back to our rhythm.
Yeah, so the question is, how does Wayzata respond here after conceding? Edina won the first 15 minutes of the second half. Can they win the next 15 and make it a one-goal game in the final 10 minutes? That is remain to be seen.
So it's interesting because Greathouse told us we're a second half team when we were talking to her. She said we're certainly a second half team, and they've been down to Wayzata before. If they can get another goal here in the next, 5-10 minutes, this game completely changes.
Throw from Ainsley Graves comes into Kelly Sprague. Here's Caverly once again in tight quarters, tackled away by Beal. Caverly back on it, working on Veyu. Caverly just let it drip out of play. Goal kick.
Yeah, as a sophomore, she's going to be a player to watch for them in the future, isn't she? She's a heck of a player. Another great left-sided player. We have a slew of them today in the game. typically unusual. It's hard to find great left-sided players, but we got a lot of them today. Voss included right here. Here you go. You see how they play behind. So it looks like Edina is also playing their center back a little bit deeper to protect those spaces in behind, right? So I'm sure they made that adjustment after they gave away quite a few breakaways that first half. Here's a ball. Here's Calverley again.
Look at Alvarez off her line. Calverley trying to curl one in. And that's the confidence from Alvarez. She reads the play so well, cuts down the angle.
Both goalkeepers have done well. You know what I mean? There's been 4 goals in the game, but these goalkeepers have done well. And, you know, Calverley, the problem is she takes that touch off the frame, right? So if she hits it right there, I think she has her beat. That first touch probably just tried to chip her, but when she took that touch, she took it off the frame. So, you know, those are things she'll learn as she gets older, but she had a wide open goal probably on that first touch if she just chipped it over Alvarez. And she has the technical ability to do that, and she's on a strong foot.
Here comes Sendin. McGuire way outside, top of the 18.
McGuire's also coming further off her line to protect that space in behind. That's the second time you've seen her clear it, right?
And they certainly talked about that in the locker room at halftime.
Heck yeah. I'm sure they said, you got to get off your line. McGuire has that kind of quality. But look at how everything has opened up a little bit.
Ruffian from distance, and that one just missing.
Shoot, we talked about we want Ruffian to strike the ball more, right? So go ahead and take it from distance. And that's on her left foot. But these are the moments. Keep taking these moments. Half chance. Oh, that changes the game right there. Edina's on the front foot. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, instead of playing on their heels, they're actually playing on their toes and making it a lot more difficult for the Trojans defensively.
The reality is there's nothing to lose now, right? It probably takes the pressure. Those first 20 minutes, all the pressure's on you. Everyone's watching you. You finally get to this moment. You don't want to make a mistake. None of that. Everything's gone now. You just tell your team you got nothing to lose. Like, let's go out, be on the front foot, take your risks, become better. And Ruffian, you know, she's the kind of kid that can take over a game. She's hard to mark out of a game for the full.
It was Smoley wanting a foul, not going to get it.
Yeah, that's a clean tackle there. I think this official's actually done a wonderful job with this game, I'll be honest. He's letting him play in the right moments so far.
Look out, Lauren Craig with the pickpocket. Sendin trying to stay on sides. This one took a deflection off of Doskach. Sendin still finds the way. First team on second team here, all state. Sendin, and that one shielded out for a goal kick. So Edina just inches away from making it a 1-goal game just moments ago.
And then Wayzata's dangerous on corner or on the counterattack, aren't they?
Well, Sendin and Lauren Craig just love to show off their speed. We talked about it last year. Sendin was a non-factor in the championship game. Part of the reason why Wayzata couldn't come out victorious without having Grace Espy in play. Now Sendin has imposed her will, 2 goals on the day.
And they don't need a bunch of numbers, Wayzata up there. They just need those 2, and they create a great chance. So I'm guessing Tony's not going to send a ton of numbers at this point. You're up 3-1, right? 20 minutes to go in the match. You probably don't need a ton of numbers forward. So he's going to say, let's get the next one. Let the next goal be Wayzata's. Edina, on the other hand, completely different. They got to take risks. And so you can see how many numbers now they're playing forward. Again, that nothing to lose position is very valuable. It's dangerous when you have nothing to lose.
So Tony Pesnacker making a change here in the back. Number 10, Lila Hawkinson's in for the first time today, younger sister of Sophie Hawkinson.
That's neat. 2 sisters getting to play on the same team in the state final. That's pretty cool.
There's Sophie on the ball. She'll play it back toward the Wayzata bench. This one going to go out of play. So Lila Hawkinson this year as a freshman, 1 goal, 1 assist on the year in 17 games played. Hyde looking to put one up for Sendin.
Doing a much better job, Edina, dealing with those balls in behind. A much better job. I mean, Wayzata was in on a lot of those, so they did deepen that center back.
Got to credit Ellie Doskach, second team All-State, has really played well in the opening 20 minutes of play here in the second half.
It looks like they've told Doskach to back up a little bit, to create a little bit better of a support angle to our other backs, just to help deal with those balls in behind the back line, because Sendin and Craig are so fast.
Lila Hawkinson on the free kick. Played back out to Hawkinson. Alex Veyu nicely bringing it down. Veyu looking for the cross. This one going to be off Edina, and the first corner kick of the match coming for the Trojans.
Now, Veyu's had such a good state tournament. You'd love to see her get, make the tournament team when you're a sophomore like that just gets really hot at this time. Had the first goal today, had 3 in the semi. I mean, and she's playing very well for them.
So Lauren Craig likes to take these from the far corner. In swinging ball, looking for Hawkinson, and played out by the Hornets. Voss able to keep it in momentarily, then played back out by Edina. Maybe a chance on the counter.
Here comes Caverly. She's had the opportunities, hasn't she?
Look at the veteran Nayar just cutting down the angle.
Yeah, she knows exactly what she's doing there. Just use the sideline as your next defender, right? Caverly probably had to play that a little bit quicker. Because Ruffing was making a great run centrally unmarked. So it would have been interesting to see if she would have played that ball in behind, right? Before Nayar came over to support that, there was a moment.
So Ella O'Keefe back on the pitch. She replaces Lauren Craig, who gets some direction from Tony Pesnecker.
Yeah, they just put so many players around.
Here's Caverly trying to flip the field of play, headed down by Voss. Just can't talk about it enough. She's a freshman starting in the state final. Cash Marzinski. This one off of Hyde, throwing for the Hornets.
It's always good to have those really tough left backs because a lot of times teams attack primarily down the right side, right? So left back is such a critical, well, they're looking for it.
Distance ball in on Alvarez.
Alvarez does a really good job with her positioning, which you don't notice unless you walk, so she's not caught out of position on some of these balls. "15 minutes left. This is critical. So, what adjustments do you make as a coach? Looks like they're making their final, bringing in here. Any finals you want to put them in. These last 15 minutes, it's got to be everything you got for Edina. You got to try to get the next goal.
Nayar gives it away. Sprague trying to play it centrally. Comes all the way through Adair, and Alvarez, the veteran, will just play it with her feet.
Smart. Yeah, and this is where Wayzata's experience being in these moments many, many times over the years. I think you'll start to see they'll start to time waste. They know how to adjust. They keep an extra defender back. Obviously, we're at 2 goals. You don't need another one.
Maddie McWayne will come back on for head coach Taylor Greathouse. She replaces Caverly. You can only imagine Caverly's going to get a short break here before she goes back in.
That's what I imagine, right? Give her 4 minutes and then put her in the last 10 because she's obviously been the most dangerous kid these last 15 minutes for Edina. With that serve across for the goal and then another couple opportunities to put balls in.
Edina's going to look for Ruffian. She couldn't quite navigate that far corner.
It's certainly been a much more even second half, so it's good to see that because Edina knows they can play with these guys. I mean, they know. So it's good to see them come out on the front foot and really showcase themselves better. They're a talented team. I mean, Edina's talented. It's just, I think Wayzata came out with a fantastic game plan against them. Obviously, haven't seen them many times, have scouted them. They were going to exploit the space in behind the backs, play direct, you can see Senden again, make these runs in behind. And McGuire, again, off of her line, as we talked about, helping them manage that space in behind. But again, those balls have been dangerous all day. And Wayzata's taken full advantage of them. I think Wayzata's defense has also been phenomenal. The individual 1v1 defending from all the kids in back. Relentless and smothering. Just kind of a culture of it. and I'm sure that's been intentional by Tony.
Adair looking to make a run. Back there is Nayar.
Nayar really cleans up so much for him, doesn't she? She does such a good job of cleaning it up. So when one player's beat, that support angle, she just kind of naturally fouls into him.
Ball into space, looking for Lily Smoley. Smoley one-on-one with Nayar. Ali Adair being hounded here by Voss.
That Adair-Voss matchup has been something this entire game. You see more of it this time, this half, because Adair's played higher and pushed Voss back a little bit more. I think the first half, Voss played a lot higher and was more to attack, but this half she's defending, maybe intentionally or not intentionally. But you see a little bit more of Adair's quality here on the ball. She's gotten in, obviously, on that cross for the goal, but she has played intentionally a lot higher this half. You'd like to see Ruffian combine there, right? She has two players on her, so maybe, combine with another player and then get played in and up, back, and through. I think her dribbling, just because they're bringing so many players to the ball, Wayzata, I think Ruffian probably has to play off other players and try to beat them through combination play. So you're not seeing that right now, but I think Ruffian, it's not that she's not beating the first player, she has so many players to beat when she's on the ball, doesn't she?
Caverly at the scores table, awaiting to check in. Wayzata will play it back to midfield, and maybe a chance here for Sendin.
Yeah, one ball in, and Sendin's in. She's going to try to put it on her left foot, isn't she?
Yep, has a player available. It's O'Keefe. Edina, great job getting numbers back.
Yeah, great job managing that. Another ball in behind for Sendin. She wanted to put it on her preferred left foot, obviously, and then played it in, but Edina does a much better job than they did the first half of managing that breakaway.
Hawkinson resetting out wide for Veyu.
Great defense.
Ainsley Graves. Quickly up, looking for Smoley. Abby Beal back there patrolling.
And you can see, I think, as a group, collectively and also individually, Edina's been better this half defensively.
And here comes Caverly. Back in for the final 10
minutes. You called it. Here she goes. So we'll see where she plays, but certainly they're looking for opportunities now.
Can Edina find 2 goals in under 10 minutes? The Hornets, the reigning state champions in Class 3A. This is a rematch of the final from 2023. Wayzata looking not only for revenge from last year, but their only loss came to Edina back in the early part of the season. Their only draw came to Minnetonka. And they're trying to end the long drought of the state title. And a corner kick coming for the Trojans here.
And again, they're going to take their time on this. Very smart. And Wayzata is very dangerous. We've seen some of their set pieces. Always dangerous on their set pieces. And you can see Edina winning that state title last year. Really, I think it raised the expectations for the entire program. And now they expect to be here. They expect to win state titles. They know what it feels like. Could be the beginning of a dynasty for Coach Greathouse.
And swinging ball from Sendin, knocked out of play.
Great service. You know how I feel about left-footed corners in swinging.
Yeah, we talked about Disha Roy from last year's
But that's
dynasty.
a good, yeah, you got to send in, you can play that in. Caverly also takes them on the other side.
A little more urgency here from Edina.
There you go. Yep, I think you got to send more numbers forward, don't you? Win balls, 8 minutes left. Definitely putting extra numbers forward. Probably trying to play a little bit more directly, sense of urgency.
Here's Sendin.
And you'll see Sendin probably try to take the space. She can play on the left, and then also when she plays on this right, she cuts in and tries to crack it with her left foot. So that's the advantage of having a player like that.
Here's Veyu.
Great ball.
For Craig,
yeah, she's
flag
off.
is up.
Craig just a step off there, but wide open.
Why not take that chance when you're up 2 goals at this point?
Absolutely, and I think that's Edina's obviously not bringing as many players back in. So there's going to be, you get in the box, there's going to be somebody open if you can find them. There it is, another ball in behind.
Send in, open net, and she couldn't put it away.
Almost the hat trick. That close, right? Great, again, another great first touch to beat the goalkeeper. You can tell she wanted that. She wanted a hat trick in the state final, didn't she?
Certainly did.
So close.
Let's see if that moment could come back to haunt Wayzata. Edina still needing 2 goals, and when does Edina start putting forwards in for defensive players here? Here's
well,
Smoley with the shot from distance, and Alvarez.
What a save! She got caught off her line there a little bit. What a save! Again, not only Edina's taken some opportunities. They had all those balls saved off the line. Watch this. She's caught off her line. It's a great hit. Yep, but finds a way.
It was dropping quickly. Alvarez did a great job just punching it over. Elizabeth Connor back on for the Hornets.
Yeah, I think you either have to change, your system, put another player forward. A lot of these players don't just play defense; they play, for their club teams, they play attack.
Out for a Drogo Lamb, looking to set it up.
Or just playing more numbers.
Caverly. Connor with
great
the service.
Ball.
Elliott Dare trying to bring it down.
That's another great ball.
Wayzata looking to escape now.
So well marked by Wayzata in the box, though, aren't they? They're just not free. Even on the goal they scored, I mean, really, Voss scored it because she was man marking, and it just deflected off of her. But they just leave nobody open in the box to finish those goals, and I can tell you that's really rare. And I mean, high school girls soccer, a lot of times when you watch games, there's a lot of players up in the box. So it's a testament to how hard they defend in the final third in those moments. I mean, the reality is after Edina this year, after they gave away 4 goals in the first game to a very dangerous Rosemont team, that'll be a team to watch in the future. They only gave up 9 goals the entire season against a really tough competition. So giving up 3 goals today says a lot about Wayzata's attack. And really, with that last one, probably should have been 4, right? Sinden had an open opportunity. So that just goes to show you how...
The save off the line there.
I don't know if I've ever seen this many saves off lines. Credit to these coaches. Holy smokes. That's fantastic.
Edina just trying to stay afloat here as we get a replay.
Yeah.
Sarah Hyde with the opportunity.
Good for her. Just did her job. That's your job on the post.
Maddie McWayne with the save. This one coming through. Chance for the Hornets to counter. 4.5 minutes to play.
Good ball in.
Lily Smoley. Back for Caverly.
It's hard for Caverly because obviously when she cuts in on her right foot, right, she wants to strike it with her left there.
Hawkinson over the top. Doskotch back there.
But McGuire coming off her line a little bit higher to manage that space has helped Edina because there's been a number of balls she's cut, those through balls. This half she's cut off that she did not do, right? The first half, which is the testament to her and the coaches of making those adjustments. She's actually had a good game.
Here's Smoley, centering attempt, looking for Elizabeth Connor, played back out. Boy, Edina had an opportunity there.
Dang, they've had some opportunities in the box.
Here comes Sinden on the left flank.
Wants this bad. Now it's on her left foot. Let's see if she strikes it.
Sinden. Looked like McGuire got a piece of it.
Till the final minutes, Tinley Sinden. 3 minutes left. That kid is hungry for the hat trick. You can just see her pace with the ball. So explosive. She moved from the right side to the left side. Obviously, she plays a little bit of both ways. On the right side, she can cut in and strike it hard with the left. On the left, obviously, she can take looks like that.
There's Lauren Craig in the far corner. McGuire off her line there, misplayed it, Sinden, and that one wide of the net.
It's really going to be, can Sinden get the third one? Because you got to love it. Love that mentality. She's on.
Just offsides. I know you wanted.
I'll have to see that replay.
You wanted it for her.
Right? Kind of hoping for the kid now.
I wonder what that competition looks like when you have a player, teammate, and Alex Veyu gets a hat trick in the state tournament. Are you trying to compete with your own teammates or just kind of competing within yourself?
I think at this moment you just want to win the state title. I don't think anybody, I mean, it's such a huge deal and so difficult to win the state title. You know, and these kids, that's the fun part of high school soccer. It takes, you know, a game of soccer, you can't get it done with one or even two kids, can you? I mean, it takes so many players at this level. You got to love that. So you need a team. You need a great goalkeeping. You need great defense. Wayzata is showing you what you need. Look at the goalkeepers made incredible saves. The back line has been so good. With Nair back there, I mean, it takes a great midfield, and then it takes a little bit of everything. That's why I love the game of soccer. It's not an individual sport. You can't do it with one or two kids.
Hawkinson getting booked here on a yellow. Delay game, I believe, was the call. So free kick for the Hornets.
Certainly not the state title. You can't win it with a couple kids. You might get far, but you can't.
Ruffian.
What a save.
Alvarez.
Holy smokes. I love this kid.
Alvarez
she is so brave.
Absolutely huge.
She really has.
Another one, and Alvarez makes the save.
Man, that is so brave to get out. You got to imagine, you got somebody in the box like a ruffian with the ball on her foot, and to take your body and come attack her like that. I mean, if she doesn't come, look at her, and take it off her foot, that takes so much bravery, just physical bravery, which is probably the most important quality for a good goalkeeper.
And for Craig, who's offsides once again. And a question that arose a couple years ago is, who is Wayzata going to have in net after graduating 2 seniors? Alvarez steps in as a sophomore, maybe a year ahead. Last year, all that experience comes back, and she's been absolutely brilliant.
She was good last year too, wasn't she?
Yes.
But it's really fun to see this level of goalkeeping on both sides. But Alvarez, I remember that last year too. She just, man, so brave. You gotta love it.
Final minute of play here.
That physical bravery can be real. You can teach goalkeepers the technical pieces, but the physical bravery is obviously something they probably get from the parents. Who knows? But she has it. So kudos to her family for developing that. Kid's a competitor, like many of these girls are.
Sophie Hawkinson will come back on here as she was booked for a yellow card just moments ago. You can see Wayzata fans starting to feel it.
Man, it's so special for this group. It's been so close so many times. It's just neat to see, and really how relentless they were coming out of the chute. I mean, they wanted this to be theirs. They weren't going to be denied again. That was kind of the mentality of their team. Completely fearless, totally on the front foot, completely aggressive. Absolute belief in themselves. Did they not? They had that this game. And that comes from their training, their culture that's been built over the last 35 years, and really their coach with Tony Pesnecker. It's awesome to see him get another one.
Wayzata will take the throw in here. Tackle out by the Hornets. Edina had a great season. 14-1-5. They did beat Wayzata, but it won't be back-to-back this year. Wayzata is back on top of the mountain. Your 2024 Class 3A Girls Soccer State Champions, Wayzata. Students to get to celebrate in front of their fellow peers.
Great turnout from their community. Huge victory. So dominant. What a year for them. I mean, it's a really special thing to me. Think about that many years of excellence and that many years of standard. And Edina is not going anywhere. I think we've seen that today. I mean, they really, the amount of youth they've had, they've taken another step here. And I think Taylor Greathouse, I'm sure she'll come here. Her team will learn from this. They'll grow from this. But the standard there has risen too. So I think you're looking ahead of years of dynasty probably. But that Wayzata team, it's, I think, really special to see a team sustain that level of excellence because it's tough to do. I don't know if we'll ever see another coach like a Pesnecker come into Minnesota High School and have this level of excellence over so many years. Super special to see somebody dedicate their life to that.
563 career wins now for Tony Pesnecker, 8 state titles. The 4,382-day drought is over for Wayzata girls
much quality on all the sides. We've talked a little bit about the level of play here in Minnesota high school soccer, never been higher. I mean, we're turning out so many good players. That's a testament to these high school coaches. Also, obviously, the clubs, the kids themselves, the amount of training and effort they're putting into getting to the next level. So it's fun to see this level of soccer in high school here in Minnesota, and I think it's only getting better. That's fun to watch. And the level of support for girls high school soccer. What a crowd we had today.
Great environment. Wanted to shout out some of the seniors for Edina, Ali Adair, Ellie Doskotch, Anna Connor, Elena McGuire. The day belongs to the Trojans. They're back on top. What a tournament for Alex Vayu and Tenley Sendon.
Yeah, the kids that really stepped up in the right moments, and I think unheralded is the defense and the goalkeeping from Wayzata. You know, obviously the goal scorers are easy to find, and they were very special. But I also think that back line and that goalkeeping for Wayzata, they never gave in. Incredible grit, incredible responsibility to each other for their 1v1 defending, to the team. It kind of, I'll never forget those 5 saves off the line. That kind of, you know, epitomizes what Wayzata soccer is all about. 5 different kids with saves off the line to make sure they don't get scored on. That kind of, to me, that defines what this team has been about these last couple years. Really fun to watch, a great competitive spirit with this group.
Well, it's been another great year, Mickey.
Yes, thank you. So much fun always to share soccer with you. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the broadcast, enjoyed watching these talented players and staff.
Wayzata finishes with a record of 19-1-1. Presentation for awards ceremony will be down on the field. We'll send it to the public address now for the awards ceremony for both teams, first and second place.
Number 4, Alex Ballou. Number 5, Lauren Craig. Number 6, Lexi Bloom. Number 7, Julia Maroon. Number 8, Nicole Mahabadi. Number 9, Abby Beal. Number 10, Lila Hawkinson. Number 11, Malia Mackey. Number 12, Sophie Hawkinson. Number 14, Sarah Hyde. Number 15, Addie Milo. Number 16, Eva Nayar. Number 17, Elena Grabowski. Number 18, Tenley Senden. Number 19, Gianna Ross. Number 20, Ella O'Keefe. Number 21, Kaylin Gerber. Number 22, Ella Brinza. Student manager, Gianna Bellini. Student manager, Kate Amalot. Assistant coach, CJ Pesnecker. Assistant coach, Katie Schultz. The head coach of the Wayzata Trojans, Tony Pesnecker. And now will the captains of the Wayzata team please come forward to accept the Class 3A championship trophy. Congratulations to Wayzata High School, state champions, Class 3A girls soccer for 2024. Congratulations to an outstanding team. Please join the Minnesota State High School League in congratulating these athletes and their schools for their outstanding participation in this year's state soccer tournament. The awards ceremony is now concluded. We thank you for your attention.
The Wayzata girls soccer team faced a familiar rival Friday for the Class 3A title as they met Lake Conference foe Edina in a rematch of last year's title game. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
Friday morning soccer as top seed Wayzata meets third seed and defending champ Edina for the Class 3A girls soccer title. Wayzata strikes early. Lauren Craig to Carolyn Voss to Alex Veyu for the redirect goal. The Trojans are on the board just 3 minutes into the contest. 9 minutes later, Sophie Hawkinson with the steal and quickly sends it to Tenley Senden, who sidesteps the keeper and tucks it away for another goal. The Trojans get out to a big 2-0 lead. Still in the first half, and Craig gets the ball to Senden, who cuts it back and with the keeper out, calmly puts another one away. A great first half, and the Trojans lead 3-0. Edina gets one, but no more. Watch the great sequence of saves by goalkeeper Sofia Alvarez and her defense for the Trojans. Wayzata wins 3-1 to earn their first title since 2012 and 8th overall.
I think it was the perfect way to end, and it was great to do it with the senior teammates that almost all of them, we've all been on a team together since we were like 10 years old, so it was just like the perfect way to end.
A great way to cap a magical season for Wayzata. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.
Girls final, Wayzata's only loss all season came to Edina, a rematch in the Class 3A title game after Wayzata's Alex Veyu scored 4 minutes in. 2 more by senior Tenley Senden. There's one of them. Gave Wayzata an early 3-0 lead. They never looked back, winning 3-1. It is their first title since 2012 8th overall.